Listen, I want you to hear me right now. Your pain is not pointless. That struggle you're going through, that disappointment, that heartbreak, that delay that makes you feel forgotten, it's not random. There is purpose behind it. There's meaning woven into every ounce of pain you've endured. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You see, when life hits hard, when you're praying and nothing seems to move, when doors keep closing, when people you trusted walk away, that's not God rejecting you, that's God redirecting you. Because sometimes the very thing that feels like it's breaking you is actually the thing that's building you. We all love the idea of purpose, but we forget purpose comes with pain. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is refined in fire. Muscles grow from resistance. And your spirit, it's strengthened in the silence of waiting. There's a reason God doesn't show you everything at once. If he gave you the full picture, you wouldn't need faith. So he hides the process to strengthen your trust. He delays the outcome to develop your character. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. I know it hurts. I know it's frustrating to wait when you've given your best, when you've done everything right and still feel stuck. But what if the delay is the very thing saving you from something smaller than what God has planned? What if the no is really a not yet, because he's working something bigger behind the scenes? Think about it. Every time you've gone through something painful and came out stronger, you realize later it wasn't just random suffering. It shaped you. It made you tougher, wiser, deeper. The pain gave birth to perspective. The struggle created strength. The waiting taught you faith. When you're in pain, your mind wants to escape it, but your spirit knows it's where the growth happens. That's where you discover who you really are. Pain strips away what's fake. It exposes what's real. It pulls out the best version of you that comfort could never produce. Maybe right now you're in a place that doesn't make sense. You're praying, God, why this? Why now? Why me? But what if the very thing you're questioning is the thing that will one day make you thankful? You just can't see it yet because you're still in the middle of it. Don't rush the process. Don't despise the delay. Trust God's timing. Because when he moves, he does in one moment what you've been trying to do for years. But you have to be ready for it. And pain is often the preparation for purpose. That heartbreak that almost broke you, it taught you to love yourself. That betrayal, it showed you who's real. That closed door, it forced you to find a better one. Every tear watered the ground for your next season. So when life gets tough, when the weight feels unbearable, when it seems like God is silent, remember this silence doesn't mean absence. Just because he's quiet doesn't mean he's not working. The seed grows underground before it ever breaks the surface. And so are you. Your story isn't over. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being built, not broken. God's timing is perfect, even when it feels painful. Every season has a reason. Every struggle has a strategy. Every delay is divine. Hold on, keep your faith anchored. Keep your heart open. Don't give up just before your breakthrough, because the same pain that's testing you right now is the very pain that will transform you later. Your pain has a purpose. And when the time is right, you'll see exactly why you had to walk through it. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation for your next level. Most people run from pain because it feels wrong. It feels unfair. It feels like something you shouldn't have to deal with if you've been doing everything right. But that's the illusion. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to develop you. It's the training ground for strength you didn't know you had. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every disappointment is sculpting you into someone capable of carrying the weight of your destiny. The truth is, comfort never creates growth. When everything is easy, you settle. When everything feels good, you don't stretch. Pain forces you to evolve. It introduces you to the deeper parts of yourself, the parts that only show up when everything familiar has been stripped away. Think about your life for a moment. The moments that defined you weren't the smooth ones. They were the ones that almost broke you. The nights you cried yourself to sleep, the failures that embarrassed you, the seasons you felt overlooked and forgotten. Those moments were painful, but they were also the moments that grew your resilience. You learned to stand on your own. You discovered strength you didn't even know was inside you. You started to see that pain wasn't there to end you. It was there to elevate you. Because every new level of life requires a stronger, wiser, more grounded version of you. And pain is the refining fire that builds that version. When you ask for strength, God doesn't hand it to you like a gift wrapped present. He puts you in situations that require strength. When you ask for patience, he gives you seasons of waiting. When you ask for faith, he gives you uncertainty. Every answer to your prayer is hidden in a challenge. But we misinterpret it. We see the challenge and assume God is punishing us when in reality he's equipping us. He's giving us the experience, the wisdom, and the emotional muscle we'll need to handle what's coming next. There's a reason why champions are forged in adversity. A diamond only becomes a diamond under intense pressure. Without that pressure, it would stay a lump of coal. The same principle applies to you. The pressure you're under is forming something precious inside you. It's refining your character, sharpening your discernment, deepening your compassion. You're being prepared for something greater than you can currently see. Pain is simply the process. It's not the punishment. The problem is when you're in the middle of it, it feels like the end. But that's the trick of perspective. You only see the fire. You don't see the gold being formed in it. Every great person you admire went through seasons of pain before they stepped into their purpose. They didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they learned to see pain as a teacher, not an enemy. They learned that when life feels like it's falling apart, it's often falling into place. And that's the mindset that changes everything. Because when you start seeing pain as preparation, you stop running from it and start learning from it. You start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? A pain exposes the parts of you that need growth. It reveals where you've been relying on comfort instead of faith. It reveals where you've attached your peace to things you were never meant to depend on. Sometimes God allows pain to detach you from what's holding you back. People, habits, mindsets, environments. Not to hurt you, but to free you. You can't step into your next level if you're still holding on to things that belong to your last one. Pain makes you release them. It forces you to let go, to surrender, to evolve. There's a unique kind of wisdom that only pain can teach. You can read about perseverance, you can talk about faith, but until you've been through something that tested everything you believe, it's just theory. Pain turns belief into experience. It makes your faith real. It teaches you that you can bend but not break. It teaches you that no matter how hard life hits, you still have something inside that can rise. And once you've experienced that, you carry a new kind of confidence, not arrogance, but quiet assurance. You know that if you survive that, you can survive this. Pain also humbles you. It strips away the ego, the illusion of control, the need to have all the answers. It reminds you that you are human, that you need grace, that you can't do it all on your own. And that humility is exactly what keeps you grounded when you finally reach your breakthrough. Because success without depth is fragile, but success that's been forged through struggle, that's unshakable. The pain you endure today is building the foundation for the strength you'll need tomorrow. Sometimes pain isn't even about you. It's about the people you're meant to help. The experiences that hurt you the most often become the stories that heal others. You'll look back one day and realize the reason you went through what you did was so you could speak from a place of truth. You'll have empathy you never had before. You'll have the ability to say, I've been there, and mean it. Pain expands your heart. It deepens your purpose. It gives your life weight. So the next time life hits you hard, don't just ask to escape it. Ask what it's building in you. Ask what it's trying to awaken. You might not see it now, but everything you're walking through is equipping you for something greater. The pain that feels unbearable today is strengthening the parts of you that will lead tomorrow. The pressure, the confusion, the tears, they're all part of the process. You're not being buried, you're being planted. And one day, what broke you will become the very thing that built you. God's silence doesn't mean absence. He's working behind the scenes. It's one of the hardest truths to accept because when you're praying, crying, and hoping for an answer, silence can feel like rejection. You start to wonder if God forgot about you, if your voice isn't reaching heaven, if maybe you did something wrong. But silence is not abandonment. It's often the space where God does his most powerful work. The quiet seasons are the construction zones of destiny. You just can't see the blueprint yet. While you're waiting for a response, he's arranging circumstances, shifting hearts, closing doors that would hurt you, and opening ones that will bless you. You're focused on the immediate, but he's orchestrating the eternal. We live in a world that moves fast. We want results, validation, and progress instantly. When we don't see movement, we assume nothing's happening. But God doesn't operate on human timelines. He's not rushed by our impatience. He's not pressured by our fear. He's strategic. Every delay, every pause, every silent stretch has purpose. Silence isn't a sign that he's stopped listening. It's a sign that he's setting something up that words couldn't explain yet. When the time is right, everything will align so perfectly that you'll realize why he had to stay silent while he worked. Think about this. Seeds grow in silence. You plant them, cover them, water them, and wait. You can't see what's happening underground, but life is forming. Roots are digging deep. Strength is being built in the dark. Then one day, out of nowhere, the first sign of growth appears. That's how God works. He doesn't always announce what he's doing. He hides the process so your faith can grow in the unseen. Because if you saw everything, you wouldn't need to trust. Faith isn't proven when everything makes sense. It's proven when nothing does. There are moments when you're praying for clarity and all you get is silence. That silence is not neglect, it's invitation. It's God saying, trust me here. It's his way of stretching your faith muscle, of teaching you to depend on him even when your logic screams for answers. You see, sometimes God is quiet because he's already spoken. He's waiting for you to act on the last instruction before giving the next one. Other times, he's silent because he's protecting you from information that would overwhelm you. He knows if he showed you the full picture right now, you might try to control it or rush it. So he withholds the details not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. God's silence can feel like distance, but in reality, it's depth. It's where he teaches you to listen differently, not with your ears, but with your spirit. He's teaching you to sense him in stillness, to trust his presence without needing constant confirmation. There's a reason the most powerful transformations happen in solitude. It's in the quiet that you learn to distinguish his whisper from your own thoughts. When he removes the noise of others, it's so you can finally hear the rhythm of his timing. Sometimes the silence is strategy. If God revealed his every move, the enemy would use it against you. So he conceals it. He shields your destiny in silence because protection often looks like delay. What you perceive as stagnation might actually be preservation. God might be hiding you while he heals you, while he matures you, while he prepares the environment that will sustain your next season. You think you're waiting on him, but often he's waiting on you to grow, to release control, to stop fighting for what he's already called you to outgrow. The silence also reveals what's really in your heart. When God isn't speaking, what do you say to yourself? Do you spiral into fear or stand in faith? The silence tests your trust. It shows you if your belief was dependent on outcomes or grounded in conviction. It's easy to praise when prayers are answered, but true faith praises while waiting. Silence strips away the superficial kind of faith that's built on comfort and reveals the kind that's built on surrender. If you look back at your life, you'll notice that some of your biggest breakthroughs came after seasons of silence. You didn't see the setup, you didn't know the connections being made, the hearts being softened, the opportunities being prepared, but when it finally came together, it made sense why God had to go quiet. He wasn't ignoring you, he was aligning everything around you. His silence was the sound of preparation. It was the calm before the unveiling. When God is silent, it can feel lonely, but it's never empty. There's movement happening in the unseen. The relationships that ended, the doors that closed, the jobs that didn't work out, those were all part of the silent strategy. You may not have understood it in the moment, but if you could see the full picture from his perspective, you'd thank him for every unanswered prayer, because some of those answers would have been distractions, detours, or delays in disguise. Silence is often God's mercy, protecting you from what you can't yet see. In those quiet seasons, your responsibility is not to figure it out, but to stay faithful. Keep showing up, keep believing, keep building. Just because you don't feel him doesn't mean he's not moving. He's in the details, in the timing, in the unseen orchestration of your life. The same God who was with you in the breakthrough is with you in the waiting. He hasn't changed. He's not gone silent because he's angry. He's silent because he's teaching you to trust deeper than before. Every great story in scripture and life has a silent chapter, the chapter between the promise and the fulfillment. That's the space where faith is refined. That's where patience is forged. That's where character grows roots. God doesn't waste silence. He uses it to prepare you for what you've been praying for. Because if he gave you everything too soon, you wouldn't have the strength to sustain it. He's not just preparing the blessing. He's preparing you for the blessing. So when it feels quiet, when heaven seems still, when your prayers echo back with no response, don't mistake the silence for stillness. Don't let impatience make you forget the pattern. God was silent before the miracle of resurrection. He was silent before the deliverance from the storm. Silence always precedes the shift. Behind every quiet moment, something divine is taking shape. You just can't see it yet because you're still in the middle of the making. Delays aren't denials. They're divine redirections toward purpose. Every time you hit a pause in life, every time it feels like what you prayed for is being withheld, it's easy to assume you're being rejected. But rejection isn't always what it seems. Sometimes it's just redirection. Sometimes the door that slammed in your face wasn't supposed to open because it would have led you somewhere that couldn't sustain you. Sometimes that relationship ending wasn't heartbreak. It was heaven's intervention. What looks like delay is often divine protection, a pause with purpose. You're not being stopped, you're being steered. God's timing isn't about convenience, it's about alignment. He's not trying to make your life harder. He's aligning your steps with the version of you He's calling you to become. We're taught to celebrate speed, to chase quick wins, to expect instant answers. But when God delays something, it's not because He's forgotten you. It's because He's developing something in you. The waiting season is where your faith matures. It's where your motives are purified, your vision is clarified, and your heart is tested. The delay is often the difference between settling for what's good and stepping into what's great. God won't rush a masterpiece, and that's exactly what He's building in you. You might feel like nothing's moving, but what's really happening is foundation work, the kind you can't see, the kind that ensures when the breakthrough comes, it doesn't collapse under its own weight. If you got everything you wanted when you wanted it, you'd never learn discipline. You'd never learn trust. You'd never develop the patience it takes to sustain blessing. The delay is not wasted time, it's training time. God delays not to punish you, but to prepare you. You think you're waiting on Him, but often He's waiting on you, waiting for your faith to mature, for your mindset to expand, for your character to catch up with your calling. Because a blessing given too soon can become a burden. A door opened before you're ready can destroy what it was meant to deliver. Timing isn't just about when something happens, it's about who you are when it happens. The delay is shaping you into the person who can actually handle the magnitude of what's coming. Look at the pattern of your life. The things that didn't work out the way you planned usually worked out better in the long run. You thought you missed your moment, but later realized it was a setup for something greater. You thought you were behind, but you were actually being positioned. The job that didn't call back, the plan that fell apart, the door that never opened. Each of those no's was a divine reroute. You were being redirected from paths that looked good but weren't right. God doesn't deny you to disappoint you. He redirects you to protect you. What you call delay, He calls design. There are places He needs to take you that you wouldn't choose on your own, and the only way to get you there is to disrupt your plans so His can unfold. We often ask for purpose, but purpose rarely comes in comfort. It comes in detours. The delay forces you to slow down long enough to see what you've been missing. It opens your eyes to details, lessons, and growth that speed would have caused you to overlook. It humbles you, refines you, and removes the illusion of control. You begin to understand that life isn't just about arrival, it's about alignment. Every delay is God's way of aligning you with the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing. He's connecting dots you can't see yet, weaving threads that will make sense later. But for now, you just have to trust that the waiting isn't wasted. There are seasons when the delay feels unbearable, like the world is moving forward without you. You see others succeeding, doors opening for them, while you're stuck in pause. That's where your faith gets tested the most, when it looks like everyone else is being promoted while you're being overlooked. But what if you're not being overlooked at all? What if you're being hidden until the right moment? Some blessings can't survive exposure too early. Some callings require isolation before elevation. The delay is God's protection from premature visibility. He's not denying your progress. He's preparing your platform. He's building depth while the world can't see it, so that when He finally reveals you, you're ready to handle the weight of it. Delays are uncomfortable because they strip away your sense of control. They force you to confront your impatience, your doubts, your need for certainty. But that's where faith becomes real. Faith isn't built in answered prayers. It's built in the gap between prayer and fulfillment. It's in the moments you want to give up, but choose to keep believing anyway. The delay stretches you. It builds endurance. It shifts your focus from outcome to obedience. You learn to trust the process instead of trying to manipulate the timing. You stop asking, when will it happen? And start asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Because ultimately, the purpose of the delay is transformation. It's not just about what's coming to you. It's about what's growing inside you. There's something powerful about delayed gratification. When you've waited for something, when you've prayed and persevered, it changes how you value it. You don't take it for granted. You treat it with care. The delay gives you depth, humility, gratitude. It makes the fulfillment mean more because you understand the cost. You've been through the process. You've paid the price in patience and perseverance, and that changes everything. The very thing you thought was holding you back is actually anchoring you deeper so you can rise higher when the moment comes. Even nature reflects this truth. Trees that grow quickly often have shallow roots. But the ones that grow slowly, that take years to mature, develop roots so deep that no storm can uproot them. The delay is your root season. It's where you grow strong in unseen ways. You may not have fruit yet, but you're developing the strength to sustain it when it comes. You're learning faithfulness in the dark, consistency in uncertainty, and trust when you can't trace the plan. These qualities can't be rushed. They're formed in the quiet, in the in-between, in the places where nothing seems to be happening. Sometimes the delay is God's way of teaching you how to walk by faith instead of sight. You might think you're waiting for something external, a breakthrough, a door, a sign, but what God's really after is internal. He's cultivating surrender. He's showing you that your timeline isn't the truth, his is. And when his moment comes, everything shifts. Suddenly, years of waiting make sense in a single moment of alignment. Suddenly, all the pieces that didn't fit start falling into place. That's what divine redirection does. It leads you away from what you thought you wanted toward what you were actually made for. So when you find yourself in delay, don't panic, don't force it, don't lose faith. The delay is not a dead end. It's divine direction disguised as waiting. Every pause has a purpose. Every not yet is still progress. God is not withholding what's meant for you. He's making sure you're ready for it, and it's ready for you. What feels like a detour is actually the road that leads directly to your destiny. Every struggle builds strength, wisdom, and faith for what's coming. Life doesn't prepare us for greatness by giving us easy circumstances. It prepares us by putting us in situations that challenge every part of who we are. Struggle is the training ground for resilience, the classroom for wisdom, and the proving ground for faith. When you face obstacles, delays, disappointments, or heartbreaks, you're not failing, you're being equipped. The experiences that feel like setbacks are actually setups for your next level. Every difficulty you endure is a layer of preparation for what's ahead, a brick in the foundation of your future, and a test of the strength of your character. Think about it. When you look at someone who is successful, confident, and unshakable, what you often don't see is the struggle behind the strength. They've been tested, they've failed, they've endured pain, and they've kept moving forward. The pain didn't destroy them, it strengthened them. The challenges didn't defeat them, they taught them lessons no comfort could provide. The obstacles didn't hold them back, they prepared them for heights they could never have reached without the experience. Struggle is never wasted. It is the forge where inner strength is developed. Strength doesn't come from ease. It comes from pressure. It comes from being pushed beyond what you thought you could handle. It comes from moments when everything in your life seems to resist you, yet you refuse to give up. That's where strength is born, not in times of comfort, but in times of resistance. When life is easy, you don't need endurance, patience, or courage. It's the hard times, the unexpected challenges, the situations that scare you, that reveal your capacity to rise above. Every struggle is a weightlifting session for your spirit. It tests you, pushes you, and eventually strengthens you for the next challenge, the next opportunity, and the next season. Wisdom is another gift of struggle. When everything flows perfectly, you never learn how to navigate complexity. You never develop discernment. Struggle teaches you how to make decisions under pressure, how to distinguish between what matters and what doesn't, and how to respond rather than react. It forces you to think critically, to strategize, and to grow emotionally and mentally. Every mistake, every failure, every disappointment is a lesson in disguise. When you embrace the struggle, you gain insight into life, people, and yourself that could never be taught in books or classrooms. Wisdom comes from experience, and experience is often built in the hard times. Faith also grows in the fire of struggle. Faith isn't something that develops when life is easy. Faith is forged when you can't see the way forward, when the future is uncertain, when circumstances seem stacked against you. It's during those moments of doubt and fear that your belief in something greater than yourself is tested and strengthened. Faith grows when you continue to move forward, to hope, and to trust despite the pain. Every struggle is an opportunity to build trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in God. The faith that survives struggle is resilient and unshakable. Struggle also reveals your true character. Comfort can mask weaknesses and create illusions of strength, but challenges expose who you really are. They show you what you value, how committed you are, and what you're willing to fight for. Struggle pushes you to your limits and asks you to make choices that define you. It forces you to confront fear, pride, and doubt. The way you handle struggle determines the level of integrity, courage, and persistence you carry forward. Every hardship is an opportunity to refine your character, to strengthen your foundation, and to align yourself more closely with your purpose. There's also a transformative power in struggle. It changes the way you see yourself, others, and life itself. Pain teaches empathy. Challenges cultivate patience. Failures develop humility. The more you endure, the more you understand that life is bigger than any single moment of discomfort. You start to recognize patterns, see lessons in disguise, and realize that your struggles are shaping you into someone capable of handling greater responsibility, opportunity, and influence. Struggle expands your capacity to experience life fully, to lead effectively, and to impact others meaningfully. One of the most powerful lessons of struggle is perseverance. The world often rewards those who give up too soon, but those who persist, who continue moving forward despite difficulty, eventually find doors open that seemed impossible to unlock. Struggle teaches you to keep going when motivation is low, when hope feels distant, and when everything inside you wants to quit. It teaches you to lean on resilience and determination to create momentum in the face of resistance. Every step you take through struggle builds stamina, courage, and a sense of invincibility that can't be gained any other way. Struggle also fosters gratitude. When you've experienced hardship, you appreciate blessings more deeply. You notice the small victories, the moments of peace, and the progress that might have gone unnoticed without the contrast of difficulty. Gratitude emerges naturally from struggle because it teaches you how fleeting and valuable success, comfort, and love truly are. It gives perspective and a deeper appreciation for life itself. When you understand the purpose behind struggle, gratitude flows even in the midst of difficulty. It's important to realize that struggle is not permanent. It is temporary, even though it feels endless while you're in it. Every season of difficulty has a purpose and an endpoint. The lessons learned, the strength gained, and the faith built are not lost. They remain with you, equipping you for what comes next. Every challenge prepares you to handle larger responsibilities, greater opportunities, and higher levels of success. The pain you endure is an investment in your future self, a way of building the internal capacity to thrive in the next chapter of your life. You also need to understand that struggle is not just personal. It often prepares you to serve others. The challenges you face and overcome give you the experience, empathy, and insight to help others navigate similar situations. Your story becomes a tool, your experience becomes a resource, and your resilience becomes a beacon of hope. Struggle equips you to be a guide, a mentor, a leader. What you endure personally positions you to impact the lives of others profoundly. No struggle is wasted when you view it as preparation. Every tear, every failure, every moment of doubt, every painful lesson is building the person you need to become to handle the opportunities ahead. Strength, wisdom, and faith are the three pillars of success, and they are often born in struggle. The obstacles you face are not detours, they are essential parts of your journey. They prepare you for leadership, they prepare you for impact, and they prepare you for a life that aligns with your true purpose. When you embrace struggle instead of fighting it, when you see it as a teacher rather than an enemy, you unlock its true value. It becomes the engine that drives personal growth, spiritual maturity, and ultimate success. Every trial, every challenge, every moment of adversity contributes to the person you are becoming, equipping you with the inner strength, clarity, and faith necessary to handle the blessings that await. Your perspective on struggle determines your progress. If you see it as meaningless suffering, it drains your energy and your spirit. If you see it as purposeful, transformative, and preparing you for what's next, it becomes a catalyst for growth. Strength, wisdom, and faith are developed under pressure, and life's challenges are designed to create both. The pain is temporary, but the growth is permanent. The lessons learned are lifelong, and the preparation that struggle provides sets the stage for unprecedented levels of achievement, fulfillment, and impact. The truth is that struggle is inevitable, but suffering without purpose is optional. You can choose to allow struggle to strengthen you, teach you, and expand your capacity for greatness. You can choose to let challenges shape your character, deepen your faith, and cultivate wisdom. You can choose to see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Every struggle you face has the potential to transform you into the person you were always meant to become, equipping you for the life, the purpose, and the impact that awaits you. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where God wants you to be. It's not a feeling, it's a decision, a choice to trust what you cannot see, to believe in what has not yet materialized, and to act as though the promises of God are already on their way. Faith is the engine that moves mountains, the spark that ignites miracles, and the anchor that holds you steady when life feels like it's spinning out of control. Without faith, you remain stuck in fear, doubt, and uncertainty. With faith, you step into the unseen with courage, knowing that every step you take aligns with a divine plan beyond your comprehension. The challenge with faith is that it often demands patience and persistence. You can't cultivate it overnight. It grows through trials, Through waiting and through continual trust in God's timing, faith is tested when circumstances seem impossible, when hope feels distant, and when logic says there's no way forward. It's easy to believe when everything is going well, but true faith shines when life is difficult. It's faith that allows you to rise after failure, to keep moving when obstacles appear, and to hold on to hope when the path ahead is unclear. Every time you choose belief over doubt, trust over fear, and hope over despair, your faith strengthens. Faith also requires surrender. It demands that you release the illusion of control and trust that God's plan is greater than your own. You might want to dictate how, when, and where things should happen, but faith calls you to step back and allow God to work in ways you cannot predict. Surrendering doesn't mean inactivity. It means aligning your actions with God's will while letting go of the need to micromanage outcomes. Faith is active trust. It moves you to act with conviction while resting in the assurance that God is orchestrating the results. Another essential aspect of faith is consistency. Faith is not demonstrated in grand gestures alone. It is revealed in daily obedience, small acts of trust, and unwavering commitment to God's promises. Every time you choose integrity over compromise, patience over impatience, and hope over worry, you are exercising faith. The cumulative effect of these choices builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. Faith is reinforced through repetition, through practicing trust in small matters, until it becomes the natural response to life's challenges. Faith grows through perspective. It requires you to see beyond the immediate situation and focus on the bigger picture. Circumstances often lie to us, convincing us that there's no way forward, that obstacles are permanent, or that dreams are impossible. Faith challenges that narrative. It reminds you that God is bigger than any problem, that he sees what you cannot, and that he works all things for your good. Developing perspective allows you to interpret setbacks as opportunities, delays as preparation, and obstacles as temporary rather than insurmountable. Faith also inspires action. It is not passive waiting. It is a catalyst for purposeful movement. When you have faith, you don't wait for life to happen. You engage with it fully, trusting that your efforts, aligned with God's plan, will bear fruit. Faith gives you the courage to step into uncertainty, to take risks, and to embrace challenges with confidence. It fuels perseverance, resilience, and determination, enabling you to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. One of the most powerful dimensions of faith is its ability to transform fear. Fear paralyzes while faith empowers. Every time you choose faith over fear, you reclaim control over your response to life's difficulties. You begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, setbacks as lessons in disguise, and adversity as a stepping stone toward greater purpose. Faith shifts your focus from what could go wrong to what God can do, and in that shift, you discover courage you didn't know you had. Faith also nurtures hope. Hope is the companion of faith, the vision that keeps you moving forward even when the present seems bleak. When you cultivate faith, you cultivate hope. You develop an expectation of good, an assurance that God's promises are real, and a conviction that your efforts are not in vain. Faith fuels hope, and hope sustains endurance. Together, they create a powerful momentum that propels you through difficult seasons toward the fulfillment of your purpose. Another critical component of faith is resilience. Life will test you, and challenges will come, but faith equips you to withstand pressure without being broken. Resilient faith doesn't waver when storms arrive. It adapts, endures, and grows stronger under pressure. It allows you to bounce back from setbacks, to learn from failures, and to continue pursuing your goals with confidence. The more your faith is exercised, the more resilient it becomes, providing an unshakable foundation for your life. Faith also strengthens your vision. It helps you maintain clarity of purpose even when circumstances obscure the path. With faith, you can hold on to your goals and dreams despite doubt, delay, or opposition. Faith sharpens focus, aligns your priorities with God's plan, and motivates you to pursue your calling relentlessly. It provides the inner compass that guides decisions, influences choices, and directs actions toward outcomes that align with your destiny. Faith grows in community. While personal faith is vital, surrounding yourself with others who encourage, challenge, and support your beliefs amplifies its power. Being part of a community of faith allows you to share experiences, learn from others, and draw strength from collective trust in God. Community reinforces faith, provides accountability, and inspires greater confidence in the unseen work of God. Together, faith becomes a living, breathing force that moves beyond individual limitations and impacts the world around you. Faith is also strengthened through reflection and gratitude. Recognizing past experiences where faith-produced results reinforces your belief in God's reliability. When you reflect on answered prayers, moments of divine intervention, and personal growth, you see evidence of faith in action. Gratitude magnifies this effect, transforming awareness into appreciation and reinforcing trust. Faith and gratitude are intertwined. As you grow in one, the other deepens, Creating a positive cycle that nurtures spiritual and emotional strength. Faith requires patience. Immediate results are rare, and the waiting period can test even the strongest believers. But patience is an active component of faith. It's the discipline to wait while trusting the process, to endure challenges without giving up, and to maintain hope when the outcome is not yet visible. Patience allows faith to mature and ensures that when God's promises are fulfilled, you are ready to receive them with wisdom, humility, and readiness. Finally, faith is transformative. It changes the way you see yourself, the world, and God. It shapes your decisions, influences your relationships, and directs your actions. Faith transforms obstacles into opportunities, fear into courage, doubt into conviction, and waiting into preparation. The more you exercise faith, the more it becomes a lens through which you experience life, allowing you to live with purpose, resilience, and confidence. Faith is not merely a belief system. It is a dynamic force that empowers you to step into your destiny, overcome adversity, and embrace the extraordinary life that God has prepared. Faith is the foundation of every success, every breakthrough, and every transformation. It is both the compass and the engine, guiding your steps and propelling you forward. Faith sustains you in uncertainty, strengthens you in struggle, and amplifies your capacity for hope, resilience, and growth. When cultivated intentionally and exercised consistently, faith becomes unstoppable, equipping you to navigate life's challenges, seize opportunities, and fulfill the purpose for which you were created.